Good morning, everybody. If I had been able to choose the song, I would have chosen the Legend of Zelda theme, but alas. Um, let's get started. First of all, um, I would like to change to the next slide, but I'm unable to. Um, It doesn't matter. The first slide is the acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge the people of the Wungrung and Wengrung language groups of the Eastern Kulin Nations on whose unceded lands we meet today. I would like to acknowledge the ancestors and elders, past and present, as well as their connection to land, water, and community. It is quite momentous that we are meeting today right after Reconciliation Week. Um, and so sorry, I lost my track because distracted me with the clicker. Right. Okay. My bad. Sorry. So we are meeting right after Reconciliation Week, and what an opportunity it is to share knowledge um, on this occasion, right? So let's talk about video games. Today, at the end of this talk, I would like you to see the connections and the patterns between good design and accessible design. And I'll get you to see those through the lens of video games, right? So let's get straight right into it. I have three key messages that I want to share with you. And so we will go one by one. And then if if you see that I'm very methodic on how I go through things, that's because I'm a lecturer. So, bad habits die hard. Um, so the first message for you is designed to remove barriers. That, as somebody said before me, you have power. You have power to make decisions, and the decisions you make affect how your products are used, right? It is out of your role, even if nobody has told you, to design so that barriers are removed and more people can engage with your products that you create. Now, for a little bit of background on how we are talking about video games today or why, on the screen now, there are two pictures of myself. This is 18-year-old me, where at the university where I did my bachelor's, I'm working with a group of blind people. On the left side, we are all in a computer lab. The blind people are sitting in front of computers, and I'm standing because I'm teaching them how to use screen reading programs that's going to help them then develop employment skills. Then on the right side, I am working with the same group of people walking around campus, right? So when I was this young, I learned that, hey, you know what? People with disabilities can gain employment skills. They can use computers because, for context, I come from Ecuador and disability is just swept under the rug. It doesn't exist over there, right? So it was quite enlightening for me to be able to work with this group of people. But then it was always at the back of my mind the question, and they also play video games, right? If they can use computers to type a letter in Word and navigate the internet, can they also play video games? I came to Australia. I got to do a PhD exploring just that. How do blind people play video games? So I found that yes, blind people can play video games indeed. There are articles on the news of blind gamers just obliterating everybody on online matches. There are people with low vision using big TVs. I do that. I have a very big TV at home to be able to cope with my low vision and be able to play video games. So there are ways around it, right? So, but this is only possible if we design with accessibility in mind. Okay, I'm gonna show you a clip of a mobile game that is designed to support screen reading technology. So you would hear what a blind person would hear when interacting with this game.
Crafting Kingdom, main menu. Play. Button. Double tap to select. Tutorial. Welcome.
Right? Although this is a quote unquote normal game, if you want to call it that, the game supports accessibility, right? So this game was designed so that it is inclusive of screen reader users, right? How or when do we talk about accessibility in video games? Well, at different stages in representation, in interface mechanics, and also in animations. And all these map very nicely to your UX, UI, stages of your product development lifecycle. Representation relates to your user-centered design methodologies. Interface is directly UI, and animations and mechanics are part of the user experience of the game, right? So doing a little bit of a detour, I didn't know where to talk about this, so I just put it here. Representation, right? What it is. So on the screen now, there are four characters from four games. Left, what is it? Top left corner, it's Dunban from Xenoblade Chronicles. He's an amazing character, super strong. He's a good brother, and he's the voice of reason in the party. And he happens to have a paralyzed arm. Uh, on the top right corner of the screen, it's Miles Morales from Amazing Spider-Man, using American Sign Language. On the bottom left corner, it's Madeleine from Celeste. She has what is it? Anxiety and depression. And then on the right hand, bottom right hand, it's Patient Zero from Katana Zero, an indie game. And Patient Zero has PTSD and amnesia. So you see representation across both big games and also small indie games. Think of these when you do your user-centered design part of your design process. Are you including and representing all the voices from all the diversity of the people that use your products? Video games are doing it now. I'm sure you can do it as well. So, message number 2. There are many ways to improve accessibility. The important part is to improve a little every time. And I'm going to introduce this by using the almighty Triforce. So, the Triforce of improving accessibility. First, we have accidental accessibility, then we have accessibility features, and finally, we have accessible first. And I like to teach by examples, so I'll show you some examples of these three ways to improve accessibility, right? Who has played Breath of the Wild? Raise your hand. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Raise your hand if you've played that game. Okay, I can't really see you because these slides are blinding for me, but anyway. So in that game, when you do certain actions, such as triggering the flurry rush, the interface prompts you with a which button to press, but it doesn't just show you the button. It shows you the outline of the full four action buttons on the controller, and it highlights and enlarges the button that you're supposed to press. That way, you can press without having to look at your control because the interface is telling you. So that is something that is accidental. I assure you, nobody at Nintendo sat down and said, okay, let's make an accessibility feature out of this prompt, right? But it just so happens that by mapping the visual interface with the actual physical controller, you deliver an experience that is easier to use for everyone, okay? And that's going to be a recurring theme. Experiences that are easy to use for everyone. Keep that in mind. So the second way to improve accessibility is through bespoke accessibility features. On the screen now, we see the accessibility menu for the Amazing Spider-Man, and that's where you find your standard captions. Some games would let you customize how these captions work, would let you set different background colors, they would let you set the color of the font, the size, and they will also let you set some gameplay mechanics as well, such as highlighting enemies of different colors, etc., etc., etc. Right? So when people think video game accessibility, this is the first thing that comes to mind: the accessibility features. Okay. Um, and the last type or way to improve accessibility is by producing accessible first games or experiences. And here I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. So please close your eyes. And you're going to listen to an audio game, a game that's designed specifically for blind people. You will listen a sound cue, a coordinate, and what's on that particular cell. So have a listen. This video is in loop, so you will listen to it 3 times, I think. Let's see.
D11, rocky terrain. D12, stony field. D13, land. D14, land. F40, water. D11, rocky terrain. D12, stony field. D13, land. D14, land. F40, water. D11, rocky terrain. D12, stony field. D13, land.
That was a game that was designed specifically for blind people, and that's an accessible first game. Look, like the Triforce, right? All these three ways to improve accessibility are important. Um, and this reflects on your own profession as designers. How you go about improving accessibility, it's up to you. What's important is that you are moving the dial, that you are actually working on this. Okay, how you go about it, up to you. Um, the other speakers will give you lots of tips on how to actually do it. And the third and final message is that accessibility is just good design. And again, I'm going to ask for a raise of hands if you think that something is good design or bad design. And again, I won't see you, but I trust that you will raise your hand to express your opinions. So let's go. I'm going to show you a picture, describe what it is, and then I'll ask you whether it's good design or not. So on the screen now, there is this feature called the follow ball from Xenoblade Chronicles X, which, by the way, it's the game I'm playing right now. And so what this does, it shows you a red path of how to get to your next objective, right? It's not just an arrow. It actually shows you, I want to say, a physical path or a tangible path, although it's a video game, that you can just follow along to get to your next objective. So I'm going to ask, do you think this is good design? Yes, raise your hand. Is it good design? Okay. I saw a few hands at the back. Do you think this is not so good design? Raise your other hand. Raise your hand. No. Okay. Most people seem to think that it's good design, and there are arguments. You could say, well, this makes the interface cluttered. This is too restrictive for users because it tells them where to go. Right? That is an argument. That's a valid argument. But on the other hand, I would say that for players like myself with low vision, I get easily lost in these open world games. So I really appreciate having a little red something that tells me, hey, you're veering off the path, come back, right? So that's an example where I find super useful, because it lets me explore the world in my own terms and always come back to the safe path when I feel like it's time to move on to the next quest. Okay, another example. This is an unpublished interface video game. And so for this one, focus on the colors, right? So look at those colors and then tell me, is this good design? Raise your hands. Is it good design, these color choices? And I'm not describing the colors on purpose right now. Or is this bad design? Raise your hands. Okay, I see lots of hands. And if this was a classroom, I would ask you why this is bad design. But I was told to avoid those types of interaction, so I'll just tell you. So basically, as I'm pretty sure most of you will know and agree, the color combination is not that great. Okay, so you have brown backgrounds with yellow fonts. And that just makes for poor contrast, right? And that just makes the interface hard to use for everyone, not just for people with low vision. It just makes the interface hard to use for absolutely everyone. So again, let's do it for a third time. Okay, good design, bad design, third time. Another interface. This time I'll describe it and then I'll ask you. So on the screen, you see now the interface of Gran Turismo 5. It's a bit of an old video game, but you see there's a lot going on. There's quite a lot going on. If you ever played that game, you would have had first-hand experience. There's like the online matches, there's your user profile, and a lot of other things going on. But especially each button, each interaction, it's quite different from itself. And so I will ask you again, what do you think? Is this good design? Raise your hand. Anybody? Okay. Or is this bad design? Raise your hand. Okay. Bad design, right? And it's more of a gut feeling, right? It doesn't really, if you look at it from a contrast point of view, okay, yeah, it meets contrast requirements. The fonts may be large enough, but it just gives us that gut feeling that, hey, this is actually not good design, right? And that's because it's a cluttered interface, which makes it hard to know what exactly is going on. Um, and again, I've brought these examples because, believe it or not, or the examples where you said, hey, this is good design, it is also accessible design. And when you said, hey, this is not so good design, it is actually not accessible design. Okay, so you are able to tell accessible and non-accessible design apart already. Okay, so to bring it all together, three messages for you. First, design to remove barriers. Remember how when we design to remove barriers, more people can engage with our products, with our services, with our games. Okay. Second, improve a little every time. How you go about improving your accessibility, it's up to you, up to your role, up to your budget, up to your level of engagement. But what's important is to continue improving. Accessibility is a journey. You can't just say, I'm going to do accessibility today and be done, because it doesn't work like that. Okay. Um, bring users with disabilities in your user testing. Bring them during your usability studies, etc. Whatever is works for you, make sure you do it and do it consistently, and you will see the improvement over time. And finally, and third, accessible design is good design, period. Okay, you have already seen some accessible and good design patterns today, and once you see them, you cannot unsee them. You will just automatically boot up a new game and you'll be like, oh, hey, this is actually not so accessible, right? It stays with you. So I hope that at least the three examples we did today stay with you, and that you go on your own and look at more examples of what's accessible so that they stay with you. And so when when you see something that is not accessible, it immediately jumps at you. With that, I finish my talk, and I thank you very much for your time.